Estadio 23 de agosto en San Salvador de Jujuy, en la capital de la provincia norteña, de la provincia jujeña de Argentina. Un estadio que tiene capacidad para 23.000 espectadores, es de los más pequeños de esta Copa América, pero pequeño, mediano, grande. Va a estar, está lleno, como van a estar todos en este torneo que empezó esta pasada madrugada con el pinchazo de Argentina en este mismo grupo, el grupo A, con el empate a 1 entre Argentina y Bolivia. Por tanto, si hoy gana alguno de estos dos equipos, Colombia o Costa Rica, gran favoritismo para los cafeteros, el que gane se pondría líder en este grupo de Argentina. Colombia y Costa Rica. Costa Rica que toma el puesto de Japón, que estaba invitado para participar en este torneo, que al final, por todo el desastre, por la catástrofe que sufrió Japón hace unos meses, no ha podido acudir.
Sí, y iba a comentar, Javier, Sisto, que la verdad es que Colombia, yo creo que hacía tiempo que no armaba un equipo con tantos nombres de primer nivel. Luego veremos cómo rinden, pero jugadores como Falcao, Guarín, jugadores que han triunfado claramente en Europa, laterales como Zúñiga y Armero en equipos importantes de Italia, los dos metidos en Liga de Campeones. Es decir, estamos hablando de, yo creo que la mejor selección colombiana probablemente desde la etapa de los 90.
Con jugadores, como dices tú, con un recorrido importante en equipos de nivel de diversas ligas europeas, que eso habla muy a su favor.
Y además con profundidad de banquillo. O sea, que ten en cuenta que futbolistas como Rodallega van a estar en el banquillo.
Qué menuda temporada ha hecho en el Wigan, ¿eh?
Teófilo Gutiérrez va a estar en el banquillo.
Se está saliendo en Racing.
Está saliendo en Racing. O sea, son futbolistas que están ahí, pero que, ojo, también hay futbolistas como a mí me gusta mucho, Anchico, un centrocampista que también juega muy bien, que está jugando ahora en Pachuca, en México, y que es un centrocampista de buen nivel. Por lo tanto, no solamente tiene un gran equipo, sino también tiene banquillo.
Vamos a ver si es la Copa América de Colombia y es el tapado que se destapa y da la sorpresa. Monumental sorpresa sería que Costa Rica hiciera algo importante en este evento, en esta Copa América. Pero bueno, van a sonar los himnos ya en Jujuy. El de Costa Rica primero.
Está bien. Salvio bien de Argentina, salvio mal del amor, cuando alguno pretenda al pueblo valiente y dados la herramienta del alma total. Patria, tu código suelo, dulce abrigo y sustento nos da, bajo el límpido azul.
Los ticos de Costa Rica que cantaron su himno en esta participación novedosa de Costa Rica en la Copa América. Va a sonar el himno de los cafeteros, el himno de Colombia.
Bueno, la verdad es que viendo las caras de los jugadores de Colombia nos damos cuenta del nivel de esta selección. Hemos visto por ahí a Radamel Falcao. Yo pensaba que iba a confiar en Zapata antes que en Perea, sinceramente. De hecho, los últimos amistosos...
¿Te acuerdas que estuvimos hablando en el tramo final de la temporada de esta Copa América? Hablábamos entre Perea, Yepes y Zapata, a ver qué dos centrales elige Bolillo Gómez.
Sí, al final Yepes es indiscutible. Yo creo que se lo ha ganado Yepes. Pero yo pensé Zapata. Yo creo que Zapata es un jugador un poquito más seguro que Perea.
Puede ser más seguro, pero Perea es más rápido. Entonces, para jugar al lado de Yepes, seguramente piensan más en la compensación para balones en profundidad de las llegadas de Perea en velocidad que quizá en la seguridad que pueda aportar Zapata.
En cualquier caso, cualquier combinación que haga sobre esos tres centrales, yo creo que sale una buena parte.
For Costa Rica, they brought something of a B team to the tournament after many of their more experienced players took part in the CONCACAF Gold Cup last month. In essence, here, an under-23 side. They have a combined 58 caps and just 7 goals between them. There are 2 debutants, 18-year-old defender Francisco Calvo and goalkeeper Lionel Morera. And perhaps the one to watch, the young striker Joel Campbell, who's being compared to the former Costa Rican legend Paulo Wancho. So there is the Colombian side, a team packed full of talents and players who ply their trade on the European stage. But Costa Rica far more youthful and having a real tall order here in this opening game of their Copa America campaign this evening. The man in charge is from Chile, and a Copa America debut for Enrique Oces. His assistants from Paraguay and from Chile. So what do you make of those two shapes, Leroy, the way the two teams are setting up here this evening?
Well, expect Colombia to really deploy a back four with a diamond shape. Bolivar just in front of that back four, and Mourinho just supporting the front two of Ramos and Falcao. It's a really attacking formation. Obviously, we've got Freddie going, who had an excellent season with Porto, as did Falcao. So they're really going to be looking to get forward. They're not a side renowned for their goal-scoring exploits, but in Falcao, you would think that they got the standout player on display today.
Good crowd here in this stadium up in the north of Argentina. Remember, it is winter here, so it's a chilly day. The temperature just below 10 degrees Celsius. It was very cold last night for the opening game down in La Plata, the 1-1 draw between Argentina and Bolivia. So pretty much all set to go here. Costa Rica in the red shirts will get the game underway. Colombia playing in their familiar yellow. Final checks from our Chilean official. Just over 20,000 fans packed in here, the Estadio 23 de Agosto. Before the match here, a moment's silence in memory of the Costa Rican international Dennis Marshall, who died just a couple of weeks ago. Marshall, who passed away just 5 days after scoring his first goal for his country at the Gold Cup last month. And a poignant moment there. So away we go. Bolivia caused something of a surprise on the opening night of the Copa America. And can Costa Rica try and do something similar here against the much fancy Colombians in this second game of the tournament? Colombia, the only other team than Brazil to have won the Copa since 1997. As for Costa Rica, they made their 4th appearance at the event, and twice they had reached the quarterfinals.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for Costa Rica. You expect them to be pushed back, especially with the formation they're playing. They're going to play with a 3 at the back. I think it's going to be 5 in midfield. That man, David Guzman, in the centre midfield is very important. He's going to try and make them tick. And the man to watch is Randall Brenes. He's the captain. He's going to play just behind Joel Campbell, who everybody's raving about at the moment. So it's important that he gets on the ball, because he's the one who really does make them play. And the two wing-backs in Salvatierra and Leal needs to get forward as much as they can to support that front two.
Now ranked 56th in the world, Costa Rica. Colombia only slightly ahead of them, down in 50th place, only one above their lowest ever FIFA world ranking. Actually sit below Iran, Lithuania and Burkina Faso. They certainly have a squad here with plenty of talent, and plenty of talent in reserve as well. The likes of Christian Zapata on the bench this evening, and so too Wigan's Hugo Rodallega. This is Gustavo Bolivar. Juan Zúñiga.
Pisa la pelota, se apoya en Amaranto Perea, cambio de frente al costado izquierdo, Pablo Armero. Bolívar con la presión de Brenes para Amaranto Perea, lateraliza el fútbol por ahora el cuadro colombiano. Yepes busca por donde el hombre del Milan de Italia, se la entrega Amaranto Perea, que intenta el pase largo, salva tierra, Joel Campbell, Calvin con la pelota, busca el pase largo adelante para Heiner Mora, pelota que se va a la línea final, hay saque de meta que hará Luis el Neco Martínez.
Colombia está comenzando con un error muy grande, metiendo pelotazos sin sentido, y eso va creando una desconfianza. Yo creo que Colombia tiene que tener paciencia porque el partido está comenzando y tiene que tener la propiedad de la pelota para mantener esa confianza también.
Intentaba controlar a Freddy Guarín, se la ganó Calvo, lo aprieta Guarín, Calvo levanta la pelota, intenta el rechazo, salta Abel Aguilar, el remate de Falcao García, por arriba se va hacia las nubes, saque de meta para Costa Rica.
Yo creo que Colombia debería comenzar ya apretando a Costa Rica, porque yo creo que en estos partidos es mejor apretar de una vez y resolver el partido lo más rápido posible.
Duarte, Pedro Leal con la pelota, lo aprieta bien Abel Aguilar, Freddy Guarín, controla el balón en el centro del campo, Bolívar, el hombre del Deportes Tolima, transporta la pelota, Gustavo Bolívar para Dairo Moreno, más arriba para Falcao García, no puede controlar Falcao García, Johnny Acosta la devuelve a su portero, Moreira, que despeja, es la primera vez que se viste con la camisa de la selección Leonel Moreira, hoy el portero titular del cuadro costarricense.
Y bueno, como es nuevo hay que pegarle, ¿no?
Hay que probarlo.
Sí, a ver cómo es.
Well, welcome back to Jujuy. I understand you lost our pictures for a moment or two there. Apologies for that. It's Salvatierra in possession for Costa Rica. Now David Guzman. The ball forward straight to Luis Martinez in the Colombian goal. A late call for them after the injury to their regular keeper David Ospina. He picked up a broken nose in training this week in a collision with Hugo Rodallega.
I'm sure Hugo's done that to quite a few players in his time. He's a powerful young man, and find him on the bench just shows the strength and depth of this Colombian side. But just about Costa Rica, I think it's going to be a tough task for them here, because essentially an under-23 side with 2 or 3 experienced players just sprinkled about, and this is really in preparation of the Olympics for them. So that's the important one for them. They were called up to this only a couple of months ago, obviously because Japan were left out because of obviously the difficulties over there. But I'm sure they've got a lot of pride, and after seeing that result yesterday, I'm sure they'll think, okay, yeah, maybe if we can get into latter stages, the experience of these young players will be even better than what we expected. So I expect them to really be positive today.
For those of you unfamiliar with the format of the Copa America, there are always 2 teams invited to join the tournament, with just 10 nations in the South American region. Mexico, the other team who have come here this year. Spain were actually given an invitation as well, but they turned down that invitation due to the club commitments of many of their players. Joel Campbell, the furthest player forward here for Costa Rica, taking on the big tall defender Mario Yepes, the vastly experienced figure.
Yeah, just showed me. Good pace, good power. Joel Campbell. There's been a lot said about him, and Yepes, 35 years old, couldn't quite keep up with the young man. I'm sure the referee didn't give it, but I think it's going to give the experienced defender from Milan a few problems today.
It's his 79th cap for his country this evening. He now moves up to 4th in the all-time list for Colombia. Carlos Valderrama, the great legend of Colombian football, the man who leads the way with 111 caps. One neatly there by Diego Madrigal. He's got the ball in as well, hit towards Brenes.
As I said, they've been really positive start. You know, Madrigal just stole the ball in midfield, drove forward. Put a good ball into Brenes. Brenes didn't quite expect it, couldn't quite get his first touch right. But they really are pushing men forward when they get on the ball.
Heiner Mora with the dart forward there, he was repelled. Plenty of determination on show here from the Costa Rican side. It's the 4th time they've been to the Copa. First though with the B team. They have reached the knockout stage in each of their last 2 appearances in this tournament, in 2001 and 2004. First sight of goal here for Colombia. And a shot which was, in the end, pretty tame from Adrian Ramos, who plays in Germany with Hertha Berlin.
Yeah, did well, just got between 2 midfield players there, Ramos. Good turn. Didn't test Moreira that, but first time that Colombia have really had a shot on target, or just off target.
He's got 17 goals for Hertha in the 2nd tier of German football the season just gone. 4 goals in the last 5 games of that league season to help Hertha back into the Bundesliga for next year. Here's Mora. There's a foul given there against Ramos, who was trying to get back to help out defensively.
Again, determined run forward. This time it's Mora down that right-hand side, and Ramos trying to help out. Just shrugs him off.
So the first real set-piece chance of the game here goes the way of Costa Rica. 5 players waiting in and around the edge of the penalty area here. 1 lined up in a Colombian wall. Campbell and Brenes, the 2 main targets here. Coming up towards 9 minutes gone. Full start. The end, the ball in was pretty poor.
Yeah, I think they have to be a little bit more clever than that. It's a bit of a mismatch in terms of size. The Colombia's big and strong. I just thought they might play it short before delivering the ball. He tried to be clever and not take the free kick, but in the end, it was easy for Luis Martinez.
It's Colombia's 20th appearance at the Copa. Winners 10 years ago on home soil back in 2001. They also reached a semi-final in 2004. Sprints on here for Falcao. Just too much weight on the ball forward.
The short pass he likes. He just likes to pull off a defender. Obviously too much pace on that one, but Colombia just seem to be coming through the Costa Ricans much too easily. I'm sure the Costa Rican coach Ricardo La Volpe will be a little bit concerned about that.
Simple punt downfield here, which almost saw Diego Madrigal get himself a sight of goal.
And the keeper Martinez just read the bounce and held his ground. Good starting position.
Here's Dardy Moreno. It's Falcao trying to turn. And a crucial covering tackle in behind there for Costa Rica. from Pedro Leal.
It's really important. Just feel, I think Johnny Acosta just feels that Falcao just eased him out the way. Just surreptitiously, the referee didn't see it. But Leal was really on his toes in a great covering position.
So Colombia's first corner, 2 balls on the pitch. So a slight delay here. Mario Yepes amongst those to move forward. Ramos and Falcao both lurking as well. So over Falcao, Yepes with the shot towards goal. In goes Ramos with the keeper. And just about Costa Rica clear their lines.
Yepes should have done better there. It's in acres of space. It was a tentative attempt at goal. So should be tightly marked from a corner, that's for sure.
It's on by Bolivar. Falcao with the header down, and a good hit, and a first real test for Lionel Morera in the Costa Rican goal. Freddy Guarín, who let fly the man from Porto.
There's Porto with it, the Porto connection there. Great head down by Falcao. And Guarín hit it first time. I think he took a deflection, made the save even better from Morera.
So the first spell of persistent pressure here from Colombia, just penning Costa Rica back. Their second corner in quick succession. Guarín, who takes it, turned on by Ramos. Peeling there was a touch there off a defender, but a goal kick is the verdict.
Well, they're struggling to cope with them, aren't they, from set pieces. This time it's Ramos. This is the chance for Guarín. Hits it first time, lovely little header, cushion header from Falcao. Entices him to hit it early, but that's an excellent save from Morera. It's very strong right hand.
The understanding clear to see there between Guarín and Falcao. 2 players who helped Porto to that treble last year, including the Europa League success, beating Braga in the final in Dublin in May. Guarín, who scored 10 goals last season, 5 of those came in the Europa League. Of course, Falcao scored 17 goals in that tournament, a remarkable tally.
Unbelievable. Yeah, 37 goals in 42 appearances. I've never got anywhere near that, Joe. But yeah, but the point is, I think he's, there's lots of eyes on him at the moment. Obviously from Chelsea, his ex-manager's gone there, and I'm sure there's a few others. You know, it's a great goal-scoring record, and he just seems an absolute natural.
There's odds of 20 to 1 for him to be the top scorer in this Copa America, which to me looks a pretty good bet. Costly slip there at the back as Ramos now surges forward here for Colombia. Got Moreno there with him, and Ramos went for goal himself. And for the second time, Martinez extended.
Well, Johnny Acosta slips. It's encouraged Ramos to run past him. He checks inside. It's an excellent shot, but Moreno does very well to stand tall. He doesn't try and anticipate it. He reads it, and it's a very good left hand just to flick it over the crossbar.
Openings coming thick and fast now for Colombia. Guarín with the corner. Hooked away towards safety by Madrigal. Campbell felt he was fouled. The referee played the advantage.
Well, he felt he was fouled. He certainly was fouled. It was Pereira came right through the back of him. I think Costa Rica would have wanted the free kick just to take the sting out of the game, because at the moment they're making errors and Moraes keeping them in the game.
This is Pablo Armero of Udinese, one of 3 Udinese players in this Colombian squad. Luis Pereira of Atletico Madrid. Armero. Now Moreno plays just behind Falcao and Ramos, given pretty much a free roll. Ramos. It's Bolivar. Now Juan Zuniga. Skipped beyond the first challenge and then was signed down by Madrigal.
Yeah, nice skill by Zuniga and Madrigal. Again, they're trying to double up on Zuniga, but dived in. And Zuniga was too sharp, too quick for him.
Madrigal becomes the first player cautioned in the game. Should tell you 2 yellow cards results in a suspension. The yellow cards are wiped out before the knockout stage if a player has just 1 to their name.
They've struggled to defend both set pieces they've had against them. See if Guarín can deliver with quality.
So again, Yepes has moved forward here. Luis Pereira has stayed back. Ramos and Falcao wait as well. Rodin's free kick. It was aimed towards Falcao. The header away was from Sabatiera.
And that was better. They stayed tight. Got plenty of bodies back there, but they have to get hold of the ball, otherwise it's going to be attack after attack from Colombia.
Francisco Calvo with the header away there. One of only 2 players in the squad to play their football outside of Costa Rica. Just 18 years of age, it's his international debut here this evening. Still plays school football in America for the Jacinto College.
I'm sure he hasn't come up against anybody like Falcao playing college football, but he's going to work. But it's a great experience for these players. You know, it's a late call up for them, but you know, you don't get to play against quality players like this every day, and they'll learn a lot. You know, even though I feel that they're going to be without the ball for long periods. So in terms of concentration and discipline, I don't think you get a much better workout.
He's got in with space to move forward.
He bamboozled himself a bit, didn't he? Go in. He went to fake to shoot and just take it, drag it past the defender, and just his touch just took him away. But at the moment, the Colombians are just getting at this back three much too easily. And like Guzman for Costa Rica need to do a better shielding job.
Dangerous pass there from Calvo to Oscar Duarte. Here's Campbell. One of a handful of players in the squad who did play in the Gold Cup. Disappointing tournament for Costa Rica. They lost at the quarter-final stage to Honduras on a penalty shootout. Here's Mora for Campbell. Still with Joel Campbell. Yepes defending well.
He did well there, Yepes. He stood his ground, didn't dive in.
Campbell's debut for Costa Rica came in the opening game of the Gold Cup when he scored against Cuba in a 5-0 win. Sent wide here by Brenes. Unable to keep the ball in play and behind for the goal kick.
Yeah, if Guzman had got forward, the defensive midfield player just saw an opportunity to support the attack, and that's what they have to do when they do get in that last third. They've got to throw the midfield players forward, and they did quite well the last couple of times. So Colombia have certainly got to concentrate.
Costa Rica's last Copa appearance was in Colombia in 2001 when they finished top of their group with 2 wins and a draw. Paolo one shot, once a derby, scored 5 goals in that tournament, including the opening goal in a quarter-final against Uruguay.
Paolo one shot, eh?
Blast from the pass. He's now coaching in the 2nd tier of Costa Rican club football.
Well, sometimes it'd be absolutely amazing, the other times it'd be absolutely dreadful, but had some great ability. Talk about absolutely dreadful. Sorry, Joe. Talk about absolutely dreadful. You know, that's just a lack of concentration. It's just poor. And at the moment, it's just breaking down, and it's just poor play.
Guzman was just dragged down there.
Just kick to the back of the heel, wasn't he, Guzman? Moreno trying to get back in.
Well, we saw yesterday with Bolivia, set pieces can be so vital for some of the lesser teams in these sort of tournaments. They've sent plenty of players forward again here. Quickly taken. Brenes, the captain. It was taken too quickly there for the liking of our Chilean referee. In fact, so quickly, he's going to show a yellow card.
Oh, I think he seems harsh, Guzman. I mean, that's what Costa Rica need to do from set piece. They need to be bright. Even give him a warning, which you would have expected.
He's often the way in these events. Some of the officials, particularly in the opening games, can be pretty over officious. 2 Costa Rican players now in the book inside the opening 20 minutes.
Puts them under pressure, doesn't it?
Here is Guzman's delivery. It's picked out Leal. Dink towards Campbell. It's come loose towards Mera. Hooked away by Pereira. Still not fully clear. And the volley back towards goal sails harmlessly over the top of the bar.
Well, it's a clever set piece. Leal just comes up late. Guzman picked him out with a driven ball. And it's fortunate that Bolivar just got back in there to defend that, because Joel Campbell's all on his own at the far post. And that's what they need to do. Costa Rica with them set pieces need to be bright. And you need to be creative, and they were on that one, and almost paid dividends.
It's the 13th game between these two sides. There's been 8 wins for Colombia, 1 draw, 3 wins for Costa Rica, although the last came way back in 1980, 31 years ago, in a friendly in San Jose. They played twice before the Copa, and Colombia have won both of those ties, the last of which was in the quarterfinals in 2004, when Colombia won by 2-0. Bolivar with the pass, looking out wide left, and again he goes astray.
They seem to have lost their way. Colombia not playing quick enough or sharply enough, and it's just leading to mistakes. You just got to sharpen up, just be brighter.
Foul seen there by the assistant on the far side, Yepes, who was fouled by Mora.
Mora didn't bother going for it, just backed into Yepes. I'm sure at 35 years old, he's been and done that many times, just dealt with it very well, make sure that he landed as softly as possible, because I've seen some injuries from that sort of challenge.
Is Aguilar, gliding past 2 or 3 tackles, but losing possession.
I thought he was fouled, to be fair, and a good driving run from Aguilar. And so they need to do more of that, just to quicken up the tempo of this game.
Here's Pereira. Turned on by Ramos. Turned out by Leal. Plays his football in Costa Rica with Punta Arenas. It's only his 4th cap for his country this evening. Zuniga. It's a good 1-2 with Ramos. Still Zuniga twisting and turning. Finally got the ball in, but couldn't beat the first man.
Yeah, you just feel that Zuniga down this right-hand side has got the beating of Leal, and in this occasion it was Madrigal's trying to get back to help his partner. But in the wing-back situation, they will find those wide players isolated at times, and Zuniga looks to have the ability to exploit it.
Got in. It's a good touch there by Falcao, got in front of the tackle. It's time for the 3rd yellow card of this first half here.
He's not giving anybody a chance, is he? Falcao was just a bit too sharp for Francisco Calvo, but he just catches him. But the referee's quick to get his yellow card out. But I would say, if any, that certainly did deserve a booking out of the 3 so far.
Innovative method of marking out the 10 yards being used in this tournament. You might have just caught a glimpse of it there. The referees have a spray can, and they put some spray on the pitch, which dissolves after 10 seconds.
Yeah, I've seen it in a tournament a few months ago. I thought it was very, very good. Good idea, because it's so annoying when Wolves are only 8 yards away. It just totally negates any advantage that the attacking team might have.
See it there, the big white line inside the box.
They've gone 11 yards, they've gone an extra yard.
So here's the latest Colombian set piece. Can they finally make one pay? Dinked in by Guarin. Yepes in the end was offside. Perhaps 3 or 4 colleagues also offside.
Yeah, you can tell Costa Rica are very aware of the size difference between the 2 sides, and they just run up as a group and leave five of them in offside position. That certainly put Colombia on the back foot when they're attacking set pieces. So I think it's a good tactic.
So 2 more live games coming your way from the Copa on ESPN tomorrow. First up, the defending champions Brazil, who open their campaign against Venezuela. Our coverage starts at 8 o'clock on ESPN for that one. And that's followed by Paraguay against Ecuador at 10:30 on ESPN, and also available for you in high definition. All the latest news from the Copa is available on ESPN SoccerNet with match reports and live scores through the tournaments. There's a ball in towards the header Moreno.
So that Ramos just took it off the head of Falcao, who's coming away from goal. So it's always going to be a difficult header to get any power into, whereas Falcao was coming onto it, but didn't give him enough shout. Good play down that left-hand side from Guin and Moreno.
One of the bugbears of regular watchers of Colombia over the past couple of years has been a lack of creativity. They don't score too many goals. In fact, it's now over 3 years since they last scored 2 goals in a game. They have had some early chances here, but so too Costa Rica. A surging burst there with some Guzman. And a hopeful glance towards the officials.
Mora just bursting forward there, and good defending from Bolivar. Got back and just got his body in the way. Said, you're going nowhere. Used his strength.
Here's Falcao. Lost possession cheaply. There's a strong tackle there on Luis Pereira. Well, we've seen 3 yellow cards already. There could well be one more here, if not a red. And Costa Rica are down to 10 men. It was a poor tackle. And the Chilean referee has shown the red card. And what was a tall order for Costa Rica has now become that much harder.
Well, it's what I expected from the referee as soon as I saw the challenge. Brenes, he doesn't see Pereira, he's just going for the ball, but Brenes is late. Pereira gets there first, and he certainly does catch Pereira high up on the knee. And you know what? Brenes can have no complaints about the red card. It's a dangerous tackle. He's nowhere near the ball, in fact, and he's made Costa Rica's task even more difficult.
One of their more experienced players shown a red card inside the opening half an hour of the game. Thankfully, Pereira is back up to his feet pretty quickly. But seeing the replays there, the referee had no choice whatsoever.
No, you're absolutely right. And you know what? He doesn't see Pereira, but he's aware of him, and he's aware that the challenge is coming in. That's why it goes high. This is the chance from Ramos. You see, he's coming away from goal. Can't generate enough power. This is a nice bit of defensive play by Bolivar, just too strong for Mora. But I just felt that Costa Rica were pretty bright. They certainly weren't overawed by the occasion, and they were given their best shot. But now I feel they're just going to be pushed back, and it's going to be very, very difficult for them.
First red card ever received by Costa Rica in a Copa America tournament.
The good thing is Pereira's back on the pitch, and that could have been a real terrible injury for him, a career-threatening injury. So delighted that he's recovered so quickly.
Certainly will shift the dynamic of the game now. I imagine Costa Rica will be more than content to take a point from it. Especially how the format of the tournament works. 4 points in the group stage could well be enough to get yourself into the next stage.
Yeah, well, Joel Campbell's going to have to do a lot of work now, up top on his front, on his own. And with the formation they play, sometimes 3, but when they haven't got the ball, it's a definite 5. They're going to be pushed back now and expect Colombia to dominate possession for the remaining hour or so in this game.
Here's Mario Yepes. Unchallenged here, Yepes. It's it back from Falcao. Here's Godin. Just like a shot from distance, but not allowed the space there to get the shot away. Still tackles flying in, that time from Madrigal. Is one of the players on a yellow card. The free kick goes his way.
Yeah, just try to overdo it again, go in. He's trying to make a yard and hit his shot, and At the moment, you know, with the amount of bodies back there, sometimes, you know, a shot and a deflection just might cause them, Costa Rica, a few problems, because they're not really coming out to close the ball down too early. So, you know, shots from distance might be Colombia's way of getting on the score sheet.
Here's Campbell, highly ambitious.
They can't blame him. He had absolutely nothing else on. Decided to take the shot on.
Scored 6 goals this year in the under-20 CONCACAF Championships to earn his promotion to the senior side. There's a glimpse there of his coach Ricardo Lavolpe, very experienced figure, 59-year-old Argentine who led Mexico to the World Cup quarter-finals a few tournaments ago. Here's Ramos, Falcao, it's come to Godin.
Well, got his shot off this time, but nowhere near the target. And Hugo Rodallega just warming up there.
Good year with Wigan Rodallega, including scoring that winning goal on the last day of the campaign at Stoke to secure Wigan's survival in the Barclays Premier League, although he's not scored a goal for Colombia now for over 2 years.
Yeah, still, what's he, only 25 years old or short, so he's still got plenty of time, so he's just maturing. And the more I see him, the more I like him. It's a foul on Madrigal.
So the 10 men here with a chance to just try and pen Colombia back for a moment.
Well, they've been bright from set pieces. Can they conjure something else up?
It's Campbell who takes it. Pretty good ball in. Francisco Calvo, the youngster, was the man who seemed to be well placed to try and meet it.
Yeah, so it just goes to show it doesn't really matter about size or strength. You put a good delivery in there, it's going to put the defending team under pressure, and that was an excellent delivery. Calvo, who attacked it very well. Obviously, the last touch came off for Colombia.
So it's Campbell on set-piece duty again here. A whole posse of players clustered near the penalty spot. Bit of pushing and shoving just being stamped out by the referee. So here comes Campbell's corner. Another good ball in. Martinez with a flap away.
Two great deliveries from Campbell. And Martinez made the right choice with the double punch.
Juan Zuniga, the furthest man forward there, just penalised for being slightly over-aggressive, trying to win possession. There's going to be a change here from Colombia inside the first half, and Rodallega, who we saw warming up a moment or two ago, is the man who will come off the bench here. He'll take the place of Abel Aguilar. So it's a midfielder being replaced by the forward in Rodallega. So a change in system already here from Colombia.
Well, I think that's a really positive move from the coach, Hernan Gomez. I don't think there's any injury to Aguilar. I think he wants to get an extra forward now. Now they've got the extra man and put this back three under real pressure. So when they get the ball, I think they're going to push on man for man onto the back three now. Rodallega's up there, along with Ramos and Falcao, and really try and put this Costa Rican side under pressure.
It's Rodallega's first touch on his 40th cap for Colombia. Now Bolivar. Bit of space for Pablo Almero. Trying to find Falcao, and Falcao did well to win the ball back. Ramos. Now it's Moreno. Good control from Zuniga. Got away from Calvo. Moreno's ball in deep towards Falcao. Come all the way to Almero. Now Rodallega. Took away from his toes by Guzman.
Well, that's better from Colombia. They moved the ball a little bit quick. Everything was too tight. Everything was sharp. And Almero just couldn't quite get it back into the path of the oncoming midfield player to hit his strike. But that's what they got to do. Move the ball quickly just to move these Costa Rican defenders about.
Lovely turn there by Heiner Mora. Has the beating now of Bolivar. Mora surging forward here for Costa Rica. Has Campbell out to his right. And he saw him, but couldn't find him.
He just let himself down with the pass, didn't he? But every time he's got the ball, and even without it, Mora's really trying to get forward and make things happen. And even with 10 men, they're still prepared to get forward. and cause problems to this Colombian back four. Nice bit of skill there from the young man. One of the experienced players, he's 27 years old, so they'll be looking to him for guidance.
So 10 minutes to half-time. So far, Colombia had to make do with long-range efforts towards goal. Still searching for their first real clear-cut chance of the game. And a couple of smart saves from Herrera in the Costa Rican goal. They have made that very attacking change, bringing on Rodallega. And they're searching for the opening goal here before half-time. As we saw last night with Argentina, the longer it goes without scoring the opening goal, it does give your lesser ranked opponents more confidence, more belief. As we saw yesterday with Bolivia scoring the opening goal in the opening game. Guarín looking towards Falcao. There's confusion here. It's loose. And eventually it was pounced upon by Herrera.
And Herrera came rushing out. I'm sure he gave Johnny Acosta a late shout, and that's why the defender just pulled himself away from kicking it away when he should just put his foot through it. It was Duarte, and that indecision almost cost them.
It's Bolivar. Luis Pereira. Guarín. Wide now for Armero. Bent in deep towards Ramos. And the aerial beat in there of Pedro Leal, the left back.
Certainly did. You can see what they're trying to do, trying to get it wide. And as I said, that three, Falcao, Ramos and Rodallega now, they're powerful and bright and sharp. They can get crosses into the box. And now they'll cause the Costa Ricans all sorts of problems. But to be fair, Costa Rica defended very well, not let them get to the byline and let them cross it from outside the 18-yard box, and it's easier to defend from there.
Do have two fullbacks, Colombia, who love to get forward, particularly Armero down that left-hand side, who at club level has spent the past couple of years playing with Alexis Sanchez. Udinese. Campbell, good turn. Madrigal came in off the left wing to try and link up with Campbell.
It was a good turn from Campbell, and Yepes had to drop off it because of the run of Mora, and his last pass just let him down. The pace of the pass wasn't quite there, but they're still a threat, this young Costa Rican side, when they go forward.
Bolivar. Guarín. Zuniga. Ramos. Bolivar. Armero. Falcao dropping deep. Rodallega. Guarín. Wayward.
We said he loves a shot. That wasn't even a shot. But again, they're having to shoot from outside the box. Costa Rica would be very happy with that. And it's funny, I'm saying about pushing the three on, just thinking there, does it make it easier in some ways for the Costa Rican back three, because it defines what they've got to do in terms of marking players. And sometimes as a defender, you quite like that, rather than having just two up there and having to really organise and talk well to make sure that they're being picked up. So sometimes having more up there can be easier to defend.
Here's Armero, joining in from left back once again. Rodallega. Bolivar. Layoff was by Moreno. More of the man in the way. Zuniga. Moreno. Falcao. Rodallega. Falcao again. Sent wide now here towards Adrian Ramos. A good covering tackle by Leal.
A nice combination play between Falcao and Rodallega. Again, it was closed down in that central area, but they're giving the ball away too cheaply. Costa Rica, even with 10 men, they still got to find a pass just to take the pressure off. They give it away on their first pass every time. The Colombians will keep coming at them.
Ramos. From a very tight angle, managed to get the ball square. Not sure whether he was going for the goal himself or going for the cross, but it was put behind for the corner.
Moreira didn't know either. He had to make the save. I think it is going to hit the side netting. He doesn't know that, but that's 3 smart saves now he's made.
Got in with the corner as we approach half-time. Turned away by Mora. Up goes Bolivar. Pereira forward. Turned on by Rodallega. Falcao lurking in behind again.
Duarte did very well there.
Long punt downfield here towards Campbell. Alert keeping this time by Martinez.
Great kick from Moreira. And Campbell almost got on the end of it. Again, Martinez, good starting position. And he's on his toes. The ball's right at the other end of the pitch, but he's still aware. You know, when you're not doing anything, that's when keepers can go to sleep. He certainly didn't do that.
Good tempo about the game towards the end of the first half. Mora. Not too much support down that right side for Costa Rica.
It's a poor decision. And, you know, again, I think Costa Rica going to run back if Colombia don't give the ball away cheaply. What I was going to say is, Costa Rica has done as much as they can do down to 10 men. You know, in terms of going forward as well. When they've had the opportunity, they tried to break, and we saw Moreira then looked up and just saw the one man up front, but almost a pinpoint long-range pass to him. So, you know, they can be pleased with what they tried to achieve since the dismissal of Brenes.
Hernan Gomez there, the Colombian coach, watching on. At the helm for his 5th Copa America, his 3rd with Colombia. Zuniga, Falcao, Zuniga. Again, the interplay was a joy to watch, but still no end product. Ramos now. And on the turn, the shot came in from Moreno, but he failed to find the target.
Well, there's a cross, there's plenty of bodies in there. I just think Moreno just tries to hit it too hard. So he really has a good swing at it when he should just get it on target, just turn it back onto the target and try and test the keeper.
Moreno has just left Stade Bucharest in Romania to sign for Tijuana in Mexico. He wins his 19th cap this evening. He's scored just 2 goals for his country so far. Got the winning goal against Argentina in a qualifying game for the last World Cup. Last goal was back in September against Venezuela. Here's Guzman. Final pass lacking for Costa Rica. But they have had the positions in this first half. They've had the chances to find that kid the final ball to create a chance or two.
Well, I've been impressed with the midfield players in Guzman and Mora. You know, in tight areas they can get out of little kind of tight areas and take players out of the game. As you said, that final pass has let them down, but if they can find that pass, Campbell is a winning worker. He's got a great left foot, and so, you know, there's still all to play for in this game.
Here's Rodallega, did well to regain possession for Colombia. They're on a different wavelength to Moreno.
Just feel a little bit of frustration, didn't you, about Colombia's play at the moment, and you know, I'm sure Costa Rica will be happy to go in at half-time 0-0.
Campbell looks to be in some pain here on the far side. Another fence though was seen by the referee or the assistant. A few cheers from the Costa Rican fans who are here at the stadium in Jujuy. Colombia content to play on with Zuniga.
It was interesting because Yepes was just signalling to the assistant referee to show him the yellow card for diving. Campbell's up and he's definitely okay.
Godin. Here's Guzman. Final seconds of normal time in the first half. Ramos is in behind here. It's Ramos! It's 1-0 Colombia. On the stroke of half-time, the tournament dark horses have the first goal of their Copa campaign.
Let's say what Bolivar did ever so well, winning that in the central area, and it's a run from out to in from Ramos. Just look at his run, just across the line. He's definitely onside. Beautiful ball from Garin. Takes it around to keep Mourinho. Just comes out. Moreira comes out a little bit too quick. He's off balance and finishes it beautifully. And he's been a real threat in this game. Excellent run. The back three of Costa Rica are totally static, don't see the run. And I said they're going happy at 0-0, but there, Colombia are more than happy to go in at half-time now, 1-0 up.
Second goal for his country, the whole bench there up to celebrate with him. But a body blow there for the 10 men of Costa Rica as we ticked towards first half stoppage time. The man from Hertha Berlin with his first international goal for nearly 2 years. It was superbly finished as the angle became ever tighter. He did well to send the ball into the back of the net and give Colombia the only goal of the first half here in Jujuy. First half which saw Costa Rica go down to 10 men after Randall Brenes was sent off for a poor tackle on Luis Pereira. But then Ramos on the stroke of half-time has scored the only goal of the game so far. And as it stands, Colombia will be heading top of Group A. So half-time, 1-0 Colombia.
Costa Rica que iba a plantear este partido, de esperar detrás de la pelota e intentar alguna salida en contraataque. Obviamente, la expulsión de Brenes ha cambiado mucho los planes, sobre todo en el ataque, pero yo suelo decir una cosa, que es difícil robarte cuando no sales de casa. Y eso es lo que está haciendo Costa Rica, no salir de casa. Entonces, estás dentro, enciendes las luces, los ladrones no llegan. Pero cuando sales de casa y quieres salir a cenar fuera, sales al ataque, es cuando te pueden robar más fácilmente en un contraataque.
Descanso en el estadio 23 de agosto de Jujuy. En este partido, en el segundo del Grupo A de la Copa América, el grupo donde está Argentina, de momento manda la selección cafetera de Colombia ante los ticos de Costa Rica. Descanso, selección Colombia, Gustavo Ramos 1, Costa Rica 0. Estadio 23 de agosto en San Salvador de Jujuy. Descanso del partido que disputan Colombia y Costa Rica, que corresponde a la primera jornada.
So day 2 of the Copa America live here on ESPN, the second of 26 live games coming up for you over the next few weeks. And Colombia with the only goal of this game here so far, not scored by Falcao, who is the real fans' favourite in the Colombian squad, but scored by his striking colleague, Adrian Ramos, who saw Colombia make the one change in the first half with that man there, Hugo Rodallega, coming off the bench. And we await the re-emergence here of the Costa Rican team for the start of the second half. They had the one-man sent off in the opening half, Randall Brenes for the poor tackle on Luis Pereira. I wonder whether they might start to shuffle their pack now. They have the veteran and experienced tactician as the coach, Ricardo Lavolpe, and he might now ponder one or two changes they try and force a way back into this game.
Yes, I think he'll be looking just to stay in the game the first part, the first 15-20 minutes of this game. We just saw that Colombia's coming out looking very buoyant. That goal would have given them a massive lift right on the stroke of half-time, and the body language of the Costa Ricans wasn't great as they went off, but they've got to reorganise and just recoup and just find a way to stay in the game. They certainly look bright when they managed to get forward in 2s and 3s, and I think that'll be the tactic again. And their set pieces, when they were bright and creative, certainly caused Colombians a few problems. So, you know, there's still hope for them, but they have to still be in the game, you know, with 20 minutes to 25 minutes to go if they have any chance to get anything out of it.
Reminder, this is the second game in Group A of the Copa America, following the 1-1 draw between Argentina and Bolivia last night. So it's now an open group. And both of these two teams know here they stand a very good chance of going through to the quarter-final stage. There's been a half-time change here for Costa Rica. Their first change of the game so far, Cesar Elizondo, the man who has come off the bench. So eventually the second half will get underway. It's Colombia who start things going once again here with the 1-goal advantage against Costa Rica. Ramos with the goal right on the stroke of half-time. A real body blow that to Costa Rica, who began the game pretty brightly. But now Colombia will try and score a second goal and try and put the game to bed.
Yeah, absolutely right. He talks about it being a body blow. I think they've had another body blow with Elizondo coming on for Joel Campbell, who I thought was a real threat in that first half. But, you know, there's a little bit of a tackle between him and Yepes, and it seemed to be struggling just towards the end of that first half. And that can only be the reason why he went off through injury, and because he was a real threat, causing a few problems to that Colombian back four. But Elizondo will come on and try and do exactly the same in a thankless role up front on his own.
Mario Yepes will be delighted to see the back of Joel Campbell. First chance to send the ball in towards Elizondo. It was Yepes who got the header away. It was a pretty confident start from Costa Rica. Belying their lowly nature in the FIFA rankings, ranked 56th in the world. Belying the fact that so many of these players out here are so inexperienced. Up to 9 members of the squad could make their debuts in this tournament. 2 are doing so in this opening game today. It is Armero here at left back for Colombia, who spent most of the first half going forward rather than acting defensively.
That's right, but you know, on occasions, you know, Costa Rica have tried to get forward at times. Madrigal again down that left-hand side, very positive. More down this right-hand side. You know, so I think, as I said, you know, they've called into this tournament late on, and again, it's a stepping stone for them towards the Olympics. So, you know, they're going to get what they can out of the game, but they're going to be positive, and their attitude has been very good. So, and they've certainly given the Colombians a few things to think about.
Sabatieri with the ball in. Comfortable take for Martinez. It's Juan Zuniga of Napoli. Towards Rodallega. Madrigal. Tackle was by Guarin. Zuniga once again. Referee playing the advantage as Zuniga got backed up to his feet. Bolivar picks out Armero.
Just look at the way the 2 fullbacks like to get forward. You know, Zuniga and Armero, the most attacking players now. On the other side is Zuniga.
Zuniga's ball in. Falcao with almost a trademark header.
Well, it's a great cross from Zuniga. Maybe just a little bit too far out, but plenty of pace on the cross. And Falcao tried to just steer it back into that top corner, which wouldn't be surprised if he managed to pull it off, but just drifted wide.
He scored 16 goals in his last 9 games for Porto in the domestic season. Wonderful year, winning the treble with Porto. 17 goals in the Europa League, 41 goals in 50 league games in his 2 years playing with Porto. Quite fantastic tally. And no surprise, given those statistics of the link to Chelsea.
The most important goal was the winner in the Europa League final, wasn't it, against Braga? I'm sure there's a lot at stake there, 2 Portuguese sides. But I'm sure whether he's there or not, he'll go down in Porto's history.
It's the Colombian coach, Hernan Gomez, who worked as the number 2 for Colombia at a couple of World Cup finals. He took the reins for France '98, when Colombia were knocked out in the group stage. Remember that defeat against England in Lens, when David Beckham scored that wonderful free kick. He then went on to lead Ecuador to their first ever World Cup finals in 2002. Elizondo for Costa Rica. Holding off Bolivar. Madrigal trying to work an opening. He's swiftly closed down by Pereira.
Well, technically they're very bright. Costa Rica this time, Elizondo did very well. Just found the pass just into Madrigal, who just coming off the line. And a nice little bit of skill, but Pereira just stood his ground. And again, a little bit of a cause for concern for Colombia at the back there.
So the first quarter of the second half goes the way of Costa Rica. It's taken by Guzman. Zuniga. Back to him by Ramos. Good defending by Calvin.
young man Calvo's done well. He's coming. He's only 18 years old. For his debut, he's looked bright. He's quite a good specimen, isn't he? He's a big, strong lad. And he's had to because they've been on the back foot, and now they'll have to defend another free kick.
He was saying before the events he was hoping to use this as a showcase to earn a professional contract somewhere. That is often the way in Copa Americas. There are so many scouts here watching these players. There are the ones we know about, the likes of Falcao and the bigger names with Brazil and Argentina, but there's always one or two gems who can be unearthed.
Yes, I mean, the only thing with the Costa Rica, you're watching Calvo, you're watching him in a back three. You know, most scouts want to see him in a back four. Can they defend in that system? It's not very often you see this system used in club football, so that'll certainly go against him. But in terms of his attitude and the way he stood up to quite a lot of pressure and having to concentrate, you know, he's only 18 years old. He's done okay.
Rodallega, Zuniga. There's Moreno with the header.
Again, cross from Zuniga. Moreno just joined in from midfield. The only thing that went against him was the standing jump. He couldn't generate enough power to really test Moreno in the Costa Rican goal. But again, Zuniga with the quality from the right-hand side.
Colombia have been dogged by a lack of goals in the past couple of years, particularly in qualifying for the past World Cup, where they scored just 14 goals in their 18 matches. The third best defence behind Brazil and Paraguay. And it was a lack of potency which saw them fail to reach South Africa last summer. For many of these teams, this tournament's also part of the preparation for the next qualifying campaign for the next World Cup, which will be here in South America, in Brazil. Madrigal coming into grief there. Free kick actually went Colombia's way.
I don't understand that decision at all. I can see why the Costa Ricans are a little bit upset. Just felt that Madrigal just got across Pereira, just stepped into him and committed the foul. And he has given it to him, so he's got it right in the end.
It's Guzman's free kick. Leao. Tried the back heel towards Madrigal, but Zuniga was there in the way. Push was in there. Yellow card's going to be shown as well, which seems to be pretty harsh.
Oh, yeah, he did get the red card right, but his yellow cards leave a lot to be desired. It's a physical game, and this is just a little bit of frustration from Freddie Guarini, just trying to close the ball down, and actually Guzman just steps across him, and there's nothing in it. Certainly didn't deserve a yellow card, but that might come back to haunt him later on in the tournament.
Fourth player booked in this game. And Brenner as well sent off inside the opening half an hour. Rodallega. It's a good, powerful hit. An even better save from Morera.
Well, yeah, he can count himself unfortunate because it's an excellent save from Morera. He drives at the back foot. Duarte comes inside and opens up the angle, and that looks like it's drifting into the bottom corner. And a great save from Morera again. He looks an excellent shot stopper. He's not the biggest of goalkeepers, but he's done Costa Rica a lot of favours by keeping them in the game with 4 or 5 good, very good saves.
Not the best corner from Colombia. Here's Madrigal, a chance to try and counter here. He was all alone. Again, he felt he was fouled. The whistle has gone in Costa Rica's favour. Here comes the yellow card once again.
He books somebody every time they make a challenge. It's unbelievable. You know, they're running at pace. Zuniga's running right beside him, and you know there's not a lot else he can do there. Except Zuniga, you watch him, he comes across here late. He's going to get the yellow card. He's just going for the challenge, sticks a foot out. There's nothing in it, and all the players have got to be very, very careful. And you know, he's a young referee. He's only 37 years old, but you know, he's got to do better and just give players a chance, I feel. Tell you what, know, there's one thing you can say about it: he's consistent.
Consistently officious. Very card happy. Man from Chile, Enrique Osses. Here's Almeida. And Falcao. Pretty quiet start of this second half. Falcao. Here's Rodallega. Now Guarín. He had one like that in the first half, which was similarly some 20 yards over the top.
Certainly did. The difference was he had plenty of time to line this one up. Guarín took his time. He expects him to hit the target. Again, nowhere near. He'd be disappointed with his. You know, I think he's only had one on target. He pulled the save out from Moreira in the first half, but he'll be disappointed with the opportunities he's had. He should have done better.
The longer it goes with a scoreline of just 1-0 in favour of Colombia, the more belief will come the way of Costa Rica. Fatigue will play a part as well, of course, having played, but as it stands now, almost half an hour with just 10 men. Still over half an hour to go in the game.
Well, this would be the first objective for the coach, Ricardo La Volpe, you know, to stay in the game. You know, they've got 10 minutes into this second half, they're still in it. And, you know, still got a chance of nicking the set piece or something.
Here's Guarín. And the ball to squirm behind for the corner. Freddy Guarín will take it himself. Rodallega, Falcao, Moreno, Ramos, all waiting. In towards Falcao, it came back off the woodwork. Lucky escape there for Costa Rica. Free kick given in the end for some pushing in the aftermath. Colombia so close to their second goal.
Well, it's a total mismatch in there. Set pieces go in with the set piece. Falcao is all on his own. They're all worried about, I think it's Rodallega, and he should score, Falcao. You expect him to score. He guides it onto the underside of the crossbar. Moreira's got absolutely no chance, and it should be 2-0.
Some of the goals, some of the headers we've seen Falcao score this season, you were just waiting there for the net to bulge.
It's amazing, you know, some players, you know, at club level it comes easy, but at an international level, they're just, you know, there's millimetres out from scoring lots of goals, and sometimes it's a mental thing, but I'm sure it's something that he'll overcome in time.
Well, the big case in points for that argument is Lionel Messi, who so often has been much maligned by the Argentinian public. His wonderful displays with Barcelona yet to really be translated onto the international stage. Fondo goes over. Got a feeling here there won't be a yellow card. Have I spoken too early?
Of course there's going to be a yellow card. As I said, it's consistent. I think it's consistently bad now. It's beyond the joke. He's going for the ball there, Yepes. Again, it's going to be one of numerous yellow cards. But this is the opportunity that Costa Rica were looking for. You expect Madrigal with his left foot, and Campbell certainly would have had a go from there, but obviously he's left the proceedings. And then Elizondo's another good left foot. So, you know, if they can hit the target and test out this man, Luis Martinez, just in the hope of just nicking a goal.
So out comes the magic white spray again. Perhaps a chance here for Costa Rica to try and get themselves level. What can they conjure? Just over 20 yards from goal. It's Guzman who takes it. And it's skimmed the outside of the post.
The only way that Guzman's going to score from there is if the wall isn't correct. And I think the wall was just about right, and that's why it's hit the side netting. So you expect a left foot. You see the wall here. And just about got that wall right. It should be the second man in, it should be covering that post. It wasn't, it was the last man. Guzman could have got a little bit more curl on there, would have embarrassed Luis Martinez.
Clearance from Oscar Duarte under pressure from Falcao. Marmero. Here's the goal scorer, Adrian Ramos. Guarín. Ramos. Guarín once again. Zuniga calling for the ball early. Still with Zuniga, going a long way around here. He's done really well, Zuniga. Stabbed away by Costa. Volley back towards goal by Bolivar.
The can't handle Zuniga down that left-hand side. He's too strong, he's too powerful. It's been a tough day for Leao, and Madrigal is trying to help him on occasions, but he's got great ability. And, the Napoli fullback who loves to get forward. It's been a real thorn in the side for Costa Rica.
Set to playing Champions League football next year with Napoli after their fine season this year under Walter Mazzarri. Foul on Moreno. Just a yard or two outside the box. Is he going for the yellow card here, or is he going for his magic spray?
Well, Guzman has already been booked. And it's Guzman who concedes the free kick. And on this occasion, maybe decides against it. And it's good to see him keep that yellow card in his pocket.
First show of leniency there from the Chilean official. Will punishment be coming here from this dead ball situation? Herrera organising a four-man defensive wall. Rodallega, one of the main protagonists here for Colombia. Guarín is there as well.
Here's Costa Rica's free kick, and they do a little bit better.
So just past the hour, Colombia in search of their second goal in their opening game. It's Guarín's hit, he kept it low. He was dragged a couple of yards off target.
I think he must have been looking for a deflection because he's driven it across the wall. And it's very wide. He certainly hasn't had his shooting boots on today, Guarín.
Saba with the ball forward. It's the half-time substitute, Cesar Elizondo.
He's off the sides of Yepes. But when he does manage to get that ball into feet, he's got good feet, good skill. And that's what they'll be looking to do, to get him into a situation where he can run at the likes of Pereira and Yepes, and maybe take him into the box and get a penalty awarded. That's the only way you can see them getting the goal and getting on the score sheet.
Guarín there was looking for the foul. Challenge with some border. Nothing untoward seen by the referee. Colombia now had not been to a World Cup finals since 1998. They had missed the last 3 World Cups. Along with the power of South American football that they once were. Remember, back in the early 90s, they went to 3 World Cups in a row. They even reached 4th in the FIFA World Rankings. They had those star names, the likes of Valderrama, Asprilla, Higuita. Different generation though now, but perhaps a generation who are coming towards their peak all at the same time together. The likes of Guarín and Falcao and Rodallega could be around for some years to come.
Absolutely, you know, you talked about the likes of Asprilla and getting the right sort of experience, you know, around the world. The likes of Milan and Atletico Madrid and Napoli, and then coming together, having got that experience, is making the national team a lot stronger. And certainly, you know, in this tournament, we'll see how they go. I think they could cause a few problems, but at the moment, they've got to make sure they get over the line in terms of putting Costa Rica to bed.
Costa Rica have a corner. Bent in by David Guzman. And by Pereira. Rodallega jumping. Morena and Bolivar. Now the chase is on here for Zuniga.
You can see why they leave Zuniga up front on his own. He's quick, he's strong. And if he'd managed to get hold of that ball, almost on a one-on-one situation with Johnny Acosta, I know my money would have been on.
Elizondo. Just a bit of skill which fooled his teammates. Many of these Costa Rican youngsters played together at the Under-20 World Cup in Egypt 2 years ago when they performed very well. They reached the semi-finals of that tournament, losing only to Brazil. So they now come through the ranks together. Ramos trying to get the ball square towards Rodallega. Ball had just gone behind for the goal kick though.
Yeah, well, it shows in their organisation. You know, it's a difficult system to play, and they've tried to back each other up well. They've been obviously for the goal. They just lack concentration. But I'm just wondering now. We hit 65 minutes. How can they change this? Will they dispense with the extra player at the back and maybe push him into midfield, play him in front, or will they change the whole system? But at the moment, you just feel that you've got to try and do something. Maybe a change of personnel might just give them some sort of spark.
Still have 2 changes left up their sleeve. Good ball from Guzman. Space perhaps here for Leao, but was quickly closed down by Pereira. Excellent pace there from the Colombian defender.
He hit up the ground, didn't he? Leao was the clear favourite to get there, but Pereira just covered the ground so quickly. He's a big, powerful man. And, defended very well.
Spring chicken, 32, Louis Pereira. His 55th cap tonight. Atletico finish a pretty poor 7th in the Spanish top flight last season. Merdo on towards Rodallega. Not sure he meant that.
He was just trying to put it into the path of Moreno. He was just he was aware that he was there, but I think he should have hit his shot. It's on his left foot. He's got the ability. Seen him do it many times for Wigan. Colombia haven't managed to get Adrian Ramos into the game as much as they did in the first half. He's playing more on this left-hand side and allow Moreno to get forward a little bit more. But I think it was more effective when he joined in with Falcao and Rodallega after he came on. So I think the coach and Gomez might be looking just to tweak things a little bit in terms of Colombia's approach as well.
Not shown too many signs of raising their tempo after half-time, Colombia. Enjoying plenty of possession, but the ball given away there by Rodallega. Looks as though their change is about to come here. Their second change after the arrival of Rodallega in the first half.
Well, they would have expected to put this game to bed. Only the header from Falcao to show in terms of efforts on target. The shot from Rodallega, so that's 2. Not enough to beat Moreno in that Costa Rica side, and at the moment they've been a little bit of a pest because they're still in the game.
Leao, the first side towards Madrigal. The appeals there for handball. Not given though by the referee. Zuniga. Moreno. Falcao. Off balance was Falcao.
See the frustration from Gomez.
So here is the change for Colombia. And the man coming on is certainly one to watch. Teofilo Gutierrez, who plays his football here in Argentina with Racing. He's been in fine form this season, 11 goals in 16 games. He takes the place of Moreno. The man who has been in superb form at club level. Colombia hope they can match that now in this tournament here. It's ball up for Costa Rica. Snaffled by Gradin. Armero. Ramos. Ramos with a wayward effort. So don't forget 2 more live games coming your way on ESPN from the Copa America tomorrow. And also later on this month we have the Emirates Cup for you here on ESPN on the 30th and the 31st of July. cracking tournament featuring the likes of Arsenal, Boca Juniors, Paris Saint-Germain and the New York Red Bulls. All the coverage right here. Go to ESPNSoccerNet.com for all the information about this tournament and also the chance to win 4 tickets to the Emirates Cup on July the 31st. If you go to Facebook.com/SoccerNet and give your prediction as to who will win the Copa America, those tickets could be coming your way. Inside the final 20 minutes of normal time. Yepes forward. Falcao couldn't gather. Here's Guzman. Gutierrez. Trying to link up with Rodallega. Madrigal. Seems to have taken over the mantle of Campbell as being the most lively player after half-time for Costa Rica.
He's got an arm across his chops from Zuniga. And you can just see the physicality of the Colombians. It's just a little bit too much for the Costa Ricans at the moment, but they're hanging in there by a thread. Just Madrigal hold one in the handball against Bolivar. He got it.
The change now for Costa Rica. And going off is the man we just mentioned, who's had a very good second half. Diego Madrigal replaced by Josue Martinez. It's 2 changes now, where we have seen Ricardo La Volpe withdraw perhaps his better performers.
I'm really surprised by that. And Madrigal's worked very hard, not just going forward, but he's backed up, the wing-back layout as well.
Here's Godin. Rodallega just forced slightly wide. He has 4 though up in support. It's deep towards Ramos. And it was a very good covering header by Salvatierra.
An excellent header by Salvatierra. 2 around him. This the pass from Gain just forced Rodallega wide, and they're outnumbered in the box, but he's defended very well, Salvatierra.
That's Armero looking for Yepes. Might be a chance of a breakaway now here for Costa Rica. Searching pass forward towards the new man Martinez. Pereira as ever on the cover. Very fine game, Luis Pereira. Man who was the victim of that awful tackle from Brennett in the first half. Showing no ill effects after that as the game has gone on.
Been impressed by Ferrer at the back, but just feel that the Costa Ricans now, they brought Martinez on to play right up top, and then Elizondo's has dropped into that left-hand side. Martinez looks to be a little bit quicker, sharper, maybe play high up and right on the shoulders of Pereira and Yepes.
Armero. Guarin. Gutierrez, it's a good ball out wide. It's Rodallega. Plenty of venom on the shot from the man from Wigan.
Lovely ball by Gutierrez, picks him out. Feel that Rodallega's got to take that first time, because as he takes a touch, it closes down the angle and makes the save a lot easier for Moreira. Yeah, it's a decent save, but one he should make, and he makes it very well.
And final change made here for Costa Rica. Jose Cabrero coming on in place of Guzman just before they defend this corner. It's taken by Rodallega, very deep one. Armero. Godin. It was a better strike. It was well blocked.
Good block by Salvatierra. Always dangerous to make a change while you're defending the corner, and fortunate to get away with it.
Interesting look. The Colombian coach, Hernan Gomez.
Costa Rican coach Ricardo La Volpe got told off for smoking on the bench once, didn't he?
Interesting character, La Volpe. No evidence so far in this game of any cigarettes or cigars down there on the bench. Not sure whether the smoking ban's kicked in yet in Argentina.
No, it's a bit of advice, and smoking isn't good for your health.
Space here for Mosquera. Martinez drifting inside. Able to let fly, but off balance as he got the shot away.
Whereas Elizondo's he's been bright since he's come on. You know, he started off up front, he's drifted out into this left-hand side. You know, looked all left foot, but no, on this occasion comes onto his right foot, and see why. You know, just drifts off the shot and goes harmlessly wide.
Next up for Colombia, their next 2 games are in Santa Fe. They play Argentina on Wednesday, which is perhaps the standout fixture in Group A. Then take on Bolivia on Sunday. If Colombia were to beat Argentina in that game in Santa Fe, it would send some shockwaves through the event. Argentina would have just 1 point after their opening 2 games. They could be in danger of not making the knockout stage, which would be an absolute travesty for the Argentinian public. Here's Ramos, it's a good turn. In the nick of time, the challenge came in there from Acosta.
It's a great turn, it's a lovely first touch. Just kept it up, and he just flicked it over Johnny Acosta's head. And if he leaves it for Gutierrez, I think he'll put that in the net, but it's a great challenge by the Costa Rican defender.
Well, Falcao's game is over. And that one big chance after half-time when his header came back off the woodwork. The hero of the Colombian fans is withdrawn without a goal in this opening game and replaced by Elkin Soto, the midfielder from Mainz, who plays in the Bundesliga.
I wonder if they're settling now for the 1-0. Just making things more solid in that central area.
Gutierrez, Rodallega. Nips off his toes. In goes Guarin. Here's Cabero. Martinez. Well, to bring the ball down, but Soto came in with the tackle. Helps out by Bolivar. Cabero with time to turn. Elizondo. Turning Zuniga, got it square. Here's Salvatierra, back onto his left side. Elizondo was surely been offside there, the flag stayed down. Cabero.
That's a nice bit of skill from Elizondo, wasn't it? And I tell you, he's been a real bright spark in this game. I said that that's what he's looking for, that one-on-one situation, and he looks at Anfield, low to the ground, low centre of gravity. And I was just thinking there, how Costa Rica gonna gamble? Are they gonna maybe throw an extra man forward? Or are they just gonna try and keep to the tactics they've used in the second half, which have worked in the main part? They've restricted Colombia to a couple of efforts on target.
Still well over 10 minutes to go here. There is still the hope for Costa Rica to try and nick a point in their opening match. Remember, they played with 10 men since before the half-hour mark. Randall Brenes was sent off a straight red card for the challenge on Pereira.
I just think it's also important that they don't get beaten by too many, they don't get trashed. 1-0 might not be a bad result, with the format that we got. The 2 best third-place teams go through, and after that result between Argentina and Bolivia, they'll be looking at that and think, well, if we can win one of our next games, that'll give us a good chance, and obviously goal difference might come into play. So it's a difficult one to balance. Do you go for it, or do you kind of almost settle for not getting hammered too much when you've got a couple of more games to come?
The next game is against Bolivia here on Thursday, which is certainly a winnable fixture. There will be something of a home game for Bolivia. We're very close to the Bolivian border here, so for that particular match, plenty of Bolivians have snapped up the tickets. group campaign against Argentina in Cordoba next Monday.
Yeah, well, the big game for them against Bolivia. They can get a result there. And it's going to be tough for them to get a result against Argentina, but they go into that game. Bolivia have Colombia in their final game, and that's not going to be easy, but that could put real pressure on Bolivia if they can nick a result.
Soto. Bolivar. Yepes. Bit of time for Zuniga.
Yeah, they look happy just to pass the ball about, to keep their shape, and just make Costa Rica work and keep the ball away from them. If the opportunity does come where they can pick them off, I'm sure they'll take it.
Won their last warm-up game against Senegal 2-0 Colombia. They've not won back-to-back games for over 2 years. They're on the verge of that here. Here's Armero. Flick on by Gutierrez. Ramos keeps the ball in play. Sabatiera, in the end, earns his team the free kick.
Well, Sabatiera is fortunate because he wanted to leave that to go out for a goal kick, and Ramos did very well to just scoop it back into the danger area, and it's Cabrera, the substitute, who gets a free kick, which just takes the pressure off.
Seem content to play at walking pace now, Colombia. Here is Zuniga. And he can inject some pace and some tempo into the game. Ramos. Gutierrez. Good strength there from Ramos, brushing off the challenge, finding Zuniga. Ramos. Soto wakes back post, it almost came his way. Sabatiera got in with a touch, and Acosta gets the ball to safety.
Well, at times it has been men against boys in terms of the physical contest. But Costa Rica stuck in there.
Guarin, good effort. Perhaps his best effort so far.
It certainly was. He's had to hit that really, really well, but it's straight at the keeper. Well, I'm impressed with the keeper's technique, because this is a great strike, hit very cleanly, and he makes sure he gets his body behind it, his knees behind it. And the reason why Costa Rica stuck in this game is because Moreira's had an excellent game and kept the scoreline down to 1.
Bolivar dispossessing Sabatiera. No urgency here at all from Colombia. Just content to allow Costa Rica to get players back behind the ball.
Well, they're happy to take this 1-0. There's still 7 minutes to go. They know it puts them in control of the group. And possession, especially when you're down and work so hard, as Costa Rica's have in the final part of the game, is always going to be tough.
Armero. Gutierrez. Soto. Bolivar. Mario Yepes, the captain. Pereira. Long towards Armero. Headed back inside for Soto. Armero again. Well worked here by Colombia. Soto's pulled back. Only pick out a red shirt though.
Well, they kept the ball for numerous passes, and as I said, if the opportunity arises, they will pick them off. There's a good run by Soto. Armero provided the ball, but he just couldn't pick out a yellow shirt in the box.
Rodallega. Zuniga. Rodallega once more. Have a glance to see who was there in support. Chance being taken there on the edge of the box by Costa Rica. The snapshot was by Gutierrez.
It became very scrappy there, didn't it? And Gutierrez decided to take the shot on. There's absolutely no pace in it.
Volpe, a man who's eager to atone for the poor showing of the senior side at the Gold Cup. His hands have been tied by the lack of experienced players who are here at this Copa America. The expectations back at home are pretty low.
Yeah, but it's been tough for Costa Rica. That sending off in Brenes early in the game certainly didn't help. And with the 10 and the substitutes who come on are stuck in there, and they've really tried to make it difficult for Colombia. But at the moment, Colombia just playing keep ball. They can't even get hold of the ball to threaten the Colombian goal. And you know, if you just look back, you can't remember a save that Luis Martinez has had to make.
There are many observers who have felt that Colombia could be a decent outside bet to win this Copa America, or at least progress to the semi-finals and perhaps beyond. Having seen what you've seen today, Leroy, what do you make of those predictions when you think of the likes of Brazil and Argentina and Uruguay as well, who were so good last year at the World Cup? How good are Colombia compared to those teams?
But you have to take into consideration the game yesterday. Look at Argentina, you know, and their performance against Bolivia. But I'm sure they'll get better, and I'll say the same about Colombia. They're going to get better as well. The most important thing is getting 3 points on the board, and as the tournament progresses, you want to get better and better, and they'll do that. Keep their best players fit. You know, Falcao has been taken off, and I'm sure he's going to get better as the tournament goes on as well. So, you know, I think the coach Hernan Gomez would be delighted if he comes away with a 1-0. No one's injured, and they can improve. And I just think they will, and they are certainly a threat. The experience of Yepes Perea at the back is going to be important. Keep those two fit, and because they're not a team that scores a lot of goals, and I think they'll have as good a chance as anybody.
If the seedings were to bear fruit, they would play Chile in the quarter-finals of the tournament. Chile, who are in Group C, along with Uruguay, Mexico and Peru. A pretty tough group, that one. Chile play their opening game, the late game, on Monday evening. Which kicks off at 1:45 live here on ESPN. That's against Mexico.
I mean, you know, in this sort of tournament, it's always hard to look past the likes of Argentina and Brazil, but...
Here's Armero. Can they kill it here? Cut back came off the shins of Acosta, and away to safety for Costa Rica. Good tackle there by Bolivar. Although a foul has been given.
Well, that's
given the yellow cards we've seen in this game, surely Bolivar has to get at least a yellow card there.
Yeah, I know you said good tackle because he got the ball, but it's a dangerous tackle. And it doesn't matter whether he gets the ball or not. You know, by the rules that are implemented today by referees, that's definitely a booking. And I've seen people send off, even though they have won the ball, but he's decided not to act. He might have left his yellow card in the dressing room at half-time, we don't know, but you know, he's decided to let play go on.
Just over 90 seconds of normal time to play here.
Yeah, as I was just saying, you know, it's hard to look past the likes of Brazil and Argentina, but as an outside bet, you know, with the experience they've got in this side, and Falcao, you know, you've got to say that Colombia would be a decent outside bet.
Perea. Ramos. His goal came on the stroke of half-time. Set to be the only goal of this game. There's to be late drama here in terms of a Costa Rica fight back, or whether Colombia can make it safe and just eradicate any late nerves and score a second themselves.
I think Costa Rica have run out of steam. They've given it their best shot. And, you know, young side, and physically it's been a tough, well, it's been a mismatch in all honesty, but 1-0 it means the 3 points will go to Colombia, and I think they'll be more than happy with that. So wait to see how much stoppage time there will be added here. Being
Plenty of half-time, and second half rather, substitutions and yellow cards. Could be a good few minutes. As you say, Leroy, you can see the fatigue really is set in now for Costa Rica. It's as though their race has been run. Soto attempting the flick. Very good year playing with Mainz in the Bundesliga, helping them into the Europa League for next season.
Yeah, you look at their strength in depth, you know, they've just brought Rodalega off the bench, so Soto just mentioned, and Zapata is another player who you know, you'd be surprised in the starting 11, but you can see why. And even Morea, the goalkeeper, isn't in a rush. He's tying up his laces. He's delighted with his performance, but he's just wasted another 45 seconds there.
Still getting himself prepared.
I wonder if the referee will book him for time wasted.
Bizarre. You mentioned Zapata, leader on the bench for Colombia. A man who's been linked pretty strongly with the move to Liverpool in this summer transfer window. Been a mainstay of the Udinese defence over the past season, but can't force his way into this Colombian team. It shows the talent they have back there in defence.
I'm sure he'll be called upon at some times, and you know, in tournament football, it is about the squad. You know, it's a lot of games in a short space of time, and you've got players who can come in and do just as good a job. That's just as important as the starting 11. So, you know, Colombia have got that strength in depth, and I'm sure their coach Hernan Gomez will utilise as much as he can.
Is there a final chance here for Costa Rica? Mora here will try and wind up a long throw, but time is up. And the game is over, and Colombia begin their Copa campaign with 3 points here against Costa Rica. 1 goal was sufficient, scored at the end of the first half by Adrian Ramos of Hertha Berlin. Costa Rica, who played the most part with 10 men after Randa Brenes was sent off in the opening half an hour. They perform well, but they are beaten, and they've lost here by 1-0. This then is the updated Group A table, and Colombia shoot straight to the top, ahead of Argentina, who had that 1-1 draw against Bolivia last night in the opening game. Costa Rica now sit bottom, but they play Bolivia here on Thursday as they try and get themselves back off the bottom and into contention. So thanks to Leroy, and your final verdict here, Leroy.
Oh, well deserved by Colombia. It was always going to be tough, but you know, Colombia will be delighted. They've got the 3 points and now lead the group. It puts them in a great position.
So all to play for in Group A. 1 goal though sufficient here in Jujuy this evening. Scored by Colombia, scored by Ramos. They start with a win. Thanks for watching. From Leroy and me, goodbye for now.
Muy bien. Y si tuviéramos que recurrir a un titular tópico, periodístico, diríamos que Colombia ha cumplido con el trámite.
Sí.
Que era ganar, sumar los 3 puntos, queda ahora en una posición privilegiada en el grupo, pues ya tiene 3, Bolivia y Argentina tienen 1, es decir, que en el próximo partido Colombia-Argentina, si Colombia quiere jugar al empate, pudiera tener muchas ventajas.
Me parece que es Armero, ¿no?
Gustavo Ramos, ¿no?
O Ramos.
El autor del gol.
Da confianza, por ahí el equipo por rato jugó bien y bueno, por rato no fuimos muy claros, pero bueno, lo importante fue que se ganó.
Muy bien, y Argentina que ganó, que le ganó Bolivia ayer, o que ¿cómo se van a preparar para ese partido?
De la misma manera que hemos venido haciéndolo, entrenándonos bien, preparándolo muy fuerte y bueno, ahora hay que pensar lo que va a ser el próximo partido.
Mucha suerte, muchas gracias.
Ha reconocido Gustavo Ramos que
Hola.
se ganó pero que no se jugó bien, ¿eh?
¿Piensas que tu actuación evitó que el resultado haya sido más abultado?
No, ese es el trabajo que me toca a mí. Yo tengo apoyo y respaldo de los compañeros, tanto de afuera como los de adentro. Los compañeros luchamos todos nos cuidamos. El equipo de nosotros es solo uno, no solo yo, no solo el portero, somos todos. Aquí vamos todos para adelante.
¿Crees que con esta derrota se complica el paso para la segunda ronda de Costa Rica?
Pienso que un poco, pero no del todo. Faltan 2 partidos que hay que asumir con seriedad. Ahora pensando en el partido que viene Bolivia, es hacer un buen partido como el que hicimos ahora con Costa Colombia. Muchas gracias.
A usted, muchas gracias. Suerte.
Pues salen todos contentos, ¿no? Gustavo
Sí,
Ramos y
todos
también el
contentos.
portero de Costa Rica, Moreira,
Bueno,
que ha sido el mejor de los chicos.
Fíjate lo que la respuesta del portero.